Morning, folks. Hey, Ahmed, how you doing? Salam alaikum. Currently smoking my Stanwell 2003 Christmas pipe. And in it I have some roll cakes, vanilla roll cake. So today I'm going to be making a Calabash styled pipe. So we're going to cut essentially like a freeform style Dublin base. Well, it'll be a tapered bowl with a mortar cap on the top. However, the bowl itself is going to be Brair. As I personally think that Brair is the best media to smoke. Well, the best wood media, let's put it that way. You know, some people will say meerschaum perhaps, but in terms of wood, comparing wood, mortar, that kind of thing, for me, my personal opinion is that Brair is the best. But some people might hold differently, but that's just my opinion. Cheers. Alright, so without further ado, I'm going to get over to the lathe. Let's get on with it. So what I'm planning on doing is the mortar cap and the mortar band here to match. And it's going to have a plain black stem, which I think will work best. So let's move you over. I'm going to let have a good camera today. If only let me do that, giving me grief. we go. Put the power cable in. We should be good to go. Actually, before I put the chuck on, I'm going to just check the alignment. Haven't done it in a while. It was pretty much bang on. There was probably maybe a tenth of a millimeter out, but you know, if you can adjust it, it's the best thing to do. Hey Miguel, he makes them in batches, you know, and they do sell quickly. You just got to keep an eye out on rawcrafted.com. You can contact him direct, I think, on Facebook. If you search that name, I don't know how you pronounce it. If it's Yu Zhanji, maybe, I don't know. But I have been in touch with him in the past directly on Messenger, and he has responded. So it's worth a try, but he might just refer you to people that he supplies here in the West. So rawcrafted.com mostly. There may be sites in Germany, I'm not sure, but your best bet is going to be Rawcrafted. Get in touch with Premal Chida, who's one of the owners of Rawcrafted, and it's spelt like this. Now then, big boy, Big Smoke is on, Phil is on. His name, you search Instagram. Search Instagram for that name, and I've been in touch with him many times, and he's helped me out, and I actually bought my chuck from him. And just let him know that you want one, and as soon as they get into stock, he should let you know, or set it aside for you, or whatever. Maybe you'll have some luck that way. I wish you luck in any of that. How you doing, Phil? Living the dream. Yes, indeed. Does that mean you've basically got your head in the clouds all the time? I mean, you're a big lad, so you're up there. Clouds of smoke, I guess. Yeah, but it's worth, you know, getting in touch with them and putting your name down. You never know. Luck. Sometimes they might get something comes back in, or maybe somebody returns an item. At one point, I was very close to sending this back to him. He'd already agreed that I could send it back, but in the end, Phil and I smashed our heads together and got this done. Well, Phil did anyway. But there was a possibility that I was going to send it back. So maybe, you know, you never know. Somebody else might be in a similar position and might send it back. If he's got your name, you never know that you might get one. But at least whenever it does get back in stock, have your name, even if it's months away. It doesn't matter. If you don't put your name down, the likelihood is that there are already a bunch of people who have already got their names down. You know, which is going to decrease your chances. So I'd put your name down. That would be my advice. Can't lose. Hey Chip, how you doing? Yeah, I mean at the moment it's very tough to get any kind of machinery because first COVID and then stuff going on in Ukraine and the world generally, it's really hard. I mean when COVID was really you know in its height, it was impossible to get machinery. Everybody was at home. Everybody was buying up machinery like it was going out of fashion so that they could work at home. And just keep themselves occupied. So during COVID proper, it was really hard to get these machinery. But I do see now that things are in stock. So, like I said, register your interest. You could also try Vermont Freehand. It doesn't have these ones, but he does do the other ones. And he's actually just redesigned his ones. I'll show you. I can find mine. Of course, mine. But basically, Vermont Freehand has basically two blocks which go onto your chuck. So essentially, you've got your chuck and something which actually looks quite like this. Uses. To be honest, you could actually use this to do the same thing. It's just that I don't think it goes wide enough for a decent sized block. I've never actually thought about it. Probably doesn't go wide enough. No. That's a shame. Because that would have been really easy to use. This one probably won't go any wider either. You just take two of them out, but I just don't think it will go wide enough. No. What else have we got here? I don't know. Alright, well, I don't know if those ones are in stock, but he's redesigned his ones. He basically had two of these which went onto your truck. They were quite short before, he's now lengthened them and he's drilled them so you can put grub screws in. But it could be he's out of stock of those as well, I don't know. Right, what do I want? Right, I've got to cut a piece of mortar, so I want to do a mortar band. We have a scrap here. Actually, I had fun and games yesterday with one of my suppliers. I may have mentioned in the past that in the last week or so that I've been having trouble with my bandsaw. I tried realigning it, resetting it, doing everything. It was a brand new blade, but it just wasn't cutting. And I couldn't understand what to do, so I went and reset everything again yesterday for the second or third time in a week, and it still didn't improve it. So I just got fed up. I took out the blade, put a new blade in, and it works like butter now. It works beautiful. So clearly that blade was faulty. So I sent an email to my supplier and I said, look, last time I bought 5 blades, I like to have them in stock. I like to have at least a few, you know, to make sure that I never run out of band blades. And this one was, it was either number 2 or number 3 that was blunt out of that 5. I sent them an email. I said, look, I bought 5 from you. I gave them the order number. It wasn't that long ago. The second one is just blunt. So he sends me an email back. Are you sure you've put it in the right way, with the teeth facing the right way? I was actually really quite angry by that response. Such a flippant remark. And he said, which blade is it? Well, I'd given him the order number so he could look on his own system, check the order and see what blade it was. So he sends me an email back this morning saying, I can't remember the exact words, but basically saying, no need to get all, you know, angry with me. I just simply asked you a simple question, which blade it was. And, you know, some people, you'd be surprised how people put the blades in and they don't work. So I said, you know what, fair enough. I appreciate that. You know, you won't know necessarily how experienced I am. Fair enough. However, as far as the blade itself is concerned, I was very clear. I gave you the order number. All you had to do was look it up in your own system, which blade I bought. And just to make 100% sure, I looked it up myself on my account, took a screen grab, a picture of the order, of the actual item itself, and I attached that to the email. He sent me an email back saying, thank you very much. I'm going to replace it with 2 blades. I hope that's okay. So all's well that ends well, but it took a while to get there. But a lesson learned is never be afraid to pull back from being angry, because in my first response, I was quite frustrated. He sent a reply, which was polite, but basically saying, you know, it can happen. People can put things in the wrong way. You know, just answer the question, kind of thing. And I thought, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. You know, some people can make a mistake and do it the wrong way. And I responded politely, and you know, it worked. And you know, one has to hope that, generally speaking, when one behaves in a degree of decorum, that you get what's right in the end. So hopefully, when it arrives, it'll be the right blade. Let's hope. In case any of you weren't with me last night on my live, I am strongly considering returning the metal lathe. I've been in touch with the company with a couple of concerns, and they've agreed in principle that I could return it. I hope they don't withdraw that. But I'm going to try it with new tools. The lathe comes with a set of tools, but they're really, really rubbish tools. The guy told me that as much. You know, they're giving you a free set just to get you going, but it's not really anything to write home about. So I've ordered some blanks, which you basically are square section HSS steel, and you shape it to whichever tool shape you want. So I'm going to grind that down to a simple square edge just to see how I get on and see if I feel better about it. If not, I'm going to take them up on there. I have to say, I was actually very impressed with his attitude, the guy. I mean, he could tell that I wasn't happy, so he just wasn't going to waste time, and he just said, fine, if you're not happy, we'll take it back. And I'm very impressed with that. I mean, that's such a sensible way to do business. It's very hard to do that sometimes when you're dealing with high-end items. Well, not high-end, but high-cost items. You take it back, you can't sell it at the same price again unless I suppose they somehow can renew it, but they still have to sell it reduced. So they're taking a hit, you know. So I think it's very courageous, but it's the right thing, because, you know, they are more likely to return to that company knowing that there's decent, responsible business people at the other end. What's going on here? I'm not happy about something. Yeah, Rawcraft are sold out, and they will be. Like I said, you've got to register your interest and hope for the best when they do get in stock. That's what I would do anyway. Yeah, the difference is quite important. The raw crafted one, well, there's two different raw crafted ones. The raw crafted one, which goes onto your chuck, as opposed to this sort of all-in-one thing. The raw crafted one is basically the same as the Vermont freehand, but each of the plates is wider, and you have 4 holes drilled, which gives you the ability to stabilize it more on the block, possibly. They're also, I think, made from stainless steel, possibly, as opposed to aluminium. They're much heavier than the Vermont freehand ones. The Vermont freehand ones, though, are cheaper, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're made of aluminium and therefore much lighter. And I found that they worked very well. I mean, I used them for the first couple of years before I upgraded. I'm now onto my 3rd type of chucks. But I found them to be excellent. When Jack Ryan started, when he first bought his lathe, he was waiting for his. They got lost somewhere across the Atlantic or something. He waited a few months for his, so he borrowed my first set of jaws, and he started making pipes using those, and he worked very well. So if you can get your hands on Vermont freehand ones, I would have no issue with that. I would recommend it. They're all pretty good. The only real big upgrade is going to something like this. That's just the next best thing. You don't have to have a chuck clean. If you've got a metal lathe, this actually comes with, not with this collar. Phil put this collar on, but this comes with a post, and the post can go straight into your metal, into the chuck on your metal lathe. It's a little bit too. It's 30 mil. The post that it comes with is 30 mil, so you won't easily get it onto a wood chuck. I tried to do it using jaws which would grip it, but by the time it was finished, it was right out here, and there was too much wobble at the end. It was too long and heavy, so I wouldn't recommend that. But on a metal lathe, it can just go straight into the chuck that comes with the metal lathe. Right, what am I doing? Which one are you talking about now? You're talking about this one? This one is from Rawcrafted, from Primal Cheetah. But I bought it a couple of years ago. I just didn't use it for a long time because I had no way of mounting it on my lathe. But once I got that collar done, which Phil did, I use it all the time. It's definitely better than the other ones, but the other ones are just as good. I mean, they do the job. This one is just more convenient. I don't have to have it attached to a chuck and then the chuck attached to the lathe. I can put it straight onto the thread on the spindle of the lathe. So much less chance of inaccuracy. It's much closer to the head. So, better all round. In fact, it's better than the original. I actually got in touch with the guy who makes it with you. Somebody put the name before. And I contacted him and I sent him pictures. I said, just as a recommendation, as feedback, these are things you might want to consider, so that people can use your chuck more readily. And I suggested possibly having some kind of interchangeable system where you can have a collar to go on a thread, or you can have a post that will go into a smaller chuck. But just to have those options to make it easier for people to mount that chuck onto a lathe, which he said he was considering. I think Phil Rivaro, who's a metal worker, he's working something up as well, so see what happens with that. It's still in the foundation stages, so we'll see. There's definitely a market for it. If somebody can come up with a good quality chuck at a reasonable price, because at the moment, to buy a chuck, they're expensive. To buy a chuck like the one I just showed you, I think it's about somewhere between $400 and $500 now. The latest version that's been brought out, which is already upgraded on my one, but still, sadly, with that 30 mil post, I think it's around $500 now. That's a lot of money for a fledgling pipe maker. No worries, Peter. Are you UK based, Peter? I just got a new 14mm drill bit because my other one was cutting holes which were not that circular. If you can mount it up to your chuck, then yes. I don't see why not. Oh, you're in Australia. I was wondering where the mite comes from. Because mite is, you know, what us cobbers use over here, isn't it? Us limeys. Or is it pommies? Pommies, right? That's a nice hole by the looks of it. That's cool. It's good to get new drills every so often. I should really learn how to sharpen drill bits. That's the truth of the matter. This is the problem after greasing, is that it catches every... This mortar is pretty scary stuff. I mean, it's basically petrified. Boom, boom. That's rather sad, Simon. Just carry on with the pipe making. Forget the comedy. Well, I guess nobody found it funny. Can't say I blame you. Well done, Dorian. I guess you know what petrified means. Not in the scary sense. Alright, that's our mortar ring. Well, that's it is a stage away from carbon, I guess. I mean, it started life as carbon at some point, and it's returning to that state. Not far off. Prepared a bunch of briar rings the other day, but then all done with that dodgy drill bit. How about a bit of Lucky boy, Dorian. Hope there's enough there. We shall soon find out. No. Well, I hope they're nice, Dorian. Enjoy them anyway. Right, I'm just popping indoors for a second. I'll be back in a moment. Cool. Cool. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just not alive at the moment. I don't know. I'll have to call him soon. Okay. All right. Cheers. I just realised that I don't have my other set of drawers here. I have to find my original ones. Alright guys, I'm going to have to take a break because I need to turn this while leaving the other block in my other set of jaws. So I've got to find my other set of jaws. So I'm going to take a break and perhaps catch you all a bit later on. Thank you very much for joining me. And I will catch you. Essentially, before I go, essentially the mortar, I'm going to have like a mortar cap sit on top of that. But I can't take this out of the block because when I cut the hole in that to slip over the top of it, I'll have to sort of fine tune this because I want it to be a very nice fit. So I can't take it off that because I'll lose axes. So I've got to find my other jaws and set them up so that I can turn that. Alright, thanks very much everybody. Catch you on the next one.